Alright, let's get comfortable. Turn on something podcast wise or some shit. I could check TV. Pat McAfee show probably. No, wait, not the weekend. Guess probably not. Well, I could turn on sports. College football, fucking review, whatever. Something.
Out now. Spence finding the distance. Snaps a counter left hook that staggers Garcia. Then later in the round, against the ropes, Spence using the three-piece, no biscuit. Putting early pressure on Garcia. Then in the seventh, Spence and Garcia tied up, but no stoppage from the referee. And Spence throwing some body blows and chopping down a tree. 10th round now, Garcia. Gonna fight back here a little bit. Spence squarely in control, but Garcia does have a nice right hook right there. It's the biggest moment of the fight. That can tell you the outcome of this one. Final 10 seconds, Garcia teeing off, trying to land a knockout blow because he knows scorecards would not be in his favor, but Spence is too slick. Dancing his way to a victory. Errol Spence Jr. dominant. Unanimous decision victory. Doesn't skip a beat after the 14-month playoff. Retains his WBC and IBF welterweight championships. Improves to 27-0 as a professional. And get this, his last 6 wins coming against current or former champion Spence. Takes this one as the favorite at minus 450. 57% of the wagers were on Spence. Laying the big number. Those are winners. If you had him by decision, it was minus 140. Fight to go the distance, minus 275. You had it over the 8.5, minus 450 as well. Cash them, they're all winners. And that's going to do it for this hour of CBS Sports HQ. But don't move a muscle. Straight ahead, we got a full recap from a wild weekend of college football.
Some companies still have HR stuck between employees and their data, entering data, changing data, more and more sensitive personal data. And it doesn't just drag HR down, it drags the entire business down with inefficiency, errors, and waste. It's ridiculous. With Paycom, employees enter and manage their own data in a single, easy-to-use software. Visit paycom.com and schedule your demo today.
Tis the season to be merry. Christmas is the greatest day in the whole wide world. I'll give you the Griswold family Christmas.
Oh, we didn't get the star.
I got it. It's Christmas. Let's keep the momentum going. Mrs. Claus, how's your hubby? Just keep stuffing your face with gingerbread. Don't you worry, I'm coming. We're all in this together.
It's so hard to practice corner shots because if you like that, my feet were past the line, so I had to move. I'm so sick of fucking commercials every 2 seconds if you watch any kind of fucking thing that's not a podcast. Like, it's just insane. Nobody wants to watch fucking 30 minutes of fucking commercials to watch 10 minutes of a show. I'm sorry. Like, that's the reason everybody's going fucking internet, you know? Like, I'd rather watch a 10-minute ad. When do you watch a 10-minute ad? That's a crazy thing. Did I watch the Pat McAfee show on Friday?
In 3, 2, 1.
A light wrinkle from empathy to show up.
3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Friday, December 4th, and we got a big-ass show for you today. That begins right now here on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. I'm still down here in Orlando preparing for War Games this Sunday. It is the final show of Fight Week.
How does that look?
On Sirius XM Channel 82,
Slightly
Mad
late.
Dog.
Okay.
The boys are still all back in Indianapolis.
I'd like to practice that. That's for
We
sure.
got great guests today. We got Josh Allen joining us today, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. Cannot wait to chat with him. Also have Ariel Helwani, asshole from ESPN, and also in the MMA game. He's also making an appearance on the kickoff show this weekend for War Games. We're going to chat about all of that. And in the third hour, we have David Bakhtiari, tackle for the Green Bay Packers. We will ask him about his Christmas gift potential for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron said he wanted a, what was the car?
Aston Martin.
Is that what it was, boys?
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. I believe it's a few $100,000. We'll ask him about that. We'll ask him about the Packers, about the team, the offense, him coming back from injury, how he feels, how his life. And also we'll break down all the NFL games happening this weekend and a couple things that have happened on the internet in the last day or so, including a high school kid just absolutely slaughtering it.
Thank God.
A lot to talk about and a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and do it. Actone Diggs, I had a chance to chat with you just a little bit ago. You are pumped about an old school type of football game happening this weekend in the NFL.
Yeah, we got the Browns going down to Nashville, going to Tennessee Titans. I'm just excited because you don't get this very often anymore, and you got two teams that just love to fucking ground and pound the ball. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and then on the other side you got Derrick Henry. The Browns run the ball the second most in the NFL. The Titans run the ball the fourth most in the NFL. I'm just excited to see it this weekend. In fact, it's just something. It's a dying art. It's a lost art, and we get to see it this weekend.
And every offense has gone to a spread-style offense. It started in high school, then it went to college, and now it's made its way in the NFL. It's a passing league. Everybody knows that. But whenever you've got two teams that have committed to the run, which these two teams have, the Cleveland Browns have invested in their offensive line. They've invested in their running backs. That is what they do. And the Tennessee Titans, everybody knows everything goes through King Henry. I'm excited for that. What's the over-under on that game?
It was 53, sorry.
Oh, grind and pound games, especially because the Cleveland Browns defense gets to play against an offense that is built for the run. You would think maybe their defense would be able to do a little bit well and slow it down. That seems like a very high number. Tony Unders might be all over that game, I'd assume, and I'm thinking about joining.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's a tasty little treat on the under slate for this upcoming weekend. But here's the thing, Pat. They're both so good at running, I don't know if the other person's going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to have to pay. That's why they play the game.
That's why they play the game.
Yeah. That's why they play the game. Ty, the Packers host the Eagles. How do you feel about it?
I feel great. I mean, I know a lot of people are betting against the Packers probably just because they're trying to fade the public a little bit. I mean, the line is a little bit high at 8.5, but after watching the Eagles play on Monday night, and I mean, granted the Bears stink, but watching the Packers play the Bears, I just don't see there being any way the Packers don't just beat the shit out of the Eagles. Rodgers talked to us this week about those other records he's coming up on. He needs 3 touchdown passes for 400 in his career. So I don't know. I'm feeling very good about the Packers right now. And the Eagles it's tough not to think that the Packers at home aren't just going to blow the doors off them.
Well, and Doug Peterson has come out and said that Carson Wentz stood in front of the team and said, hey, listen, boys, I stink, all right? And we're going to get better. We're going to do this as much as we possibly can. Is that good for the Eagles that the quarterback has come out and admitted a little bit of fault and said that he stinks? Is it bad for the Eagles? Because they're like, yeah, we know the Seattle Seahawks game against the Eagles was ugly. Obviously, the Eagles did cover those somehow with a miraculous Hail Mary, and then they go for 2. It feels like this is a game where Aaron Rodgers is going to get a big-time win. You said fade the people. All the people are thinking they're going to win by 8.5. What's the numbers on that, Diggs? What's the percentage of people that are betting on the Packers minus 8.5 at home against the Eagles?
So as far as people are concerned, 65% of the bets of the tickets are coming in on the Packers, but more of the money is actually coming in on the Eagles. 52%.
Oh, that's good news for us then. Hey, that's good news for us. Hey, if we like the Packers, that's good news because, listen, that's, by the way, that just got me pumped up. If you're only listening, I just stood there because that is a bet that I like. And it's the first time
in a while that I haven't been on the same side as all the money. So this is good news for us. Packers -8.5. That feels like a very easy win. We'll talk to Bakhtiar about how the boys feel going into this Sunday here in the third hour. Can't wait to shout about that. And Connor, that Boston Connor, there was some massive, massive moves made by NBC and Sunday Night Football, bringing in a potential ringer to up their coverage and their ability. What are you excited about watching there, pal?
Look, some things you think are never going to get better. You know, chocolate milk, Mountain Dew, apple pie, Sunday Night Football falls into that category. It could never get better. Until now, Steve Kornacki, the Hall of Fame superstar board maneuverer from election night, is going to be on Sunday Night Football, pre-show, Football Night in America. I mean, I couldn't be more excited, Pat. I think this is going to be the real game on Sunday, pre-War Games. So I'm excited for Kornacki to roll me into War Games.
Well, the interesting thing, you said he runs the board. He was a map guy. Okay? He was,
The map.
A map guy when it came to voting. And every political channel had their own map guys. And we, over here at this show, are too dumb to really know what's going on, but we knew immediately early on election night that there seems to be one constant for all these channels, and it's the map maneuverability. And, you know, Diggs had his guy over there on CNN, and then there was a guy on Fox News, and over there on MSNBC, there was this, you know, it felt like a wild card going on. He didn't have the jacket on, okay, he had the sleeves rolled up. He put a tweet out beforehand, and I didn't even know this guy existed, to be completely transparent. He put a tweet out and said, I'm not sitting down until this fucking thing's decided. By the way, shout out to Steve. Is he still standing?
Right now.
Is he still standing at this point? But watching him maneuver that goddamn map and move the things and slide the things and zoom in and zoom out with an electricity that the other two didn't have, I'm pumped he's getting a little bit of a moment in the sun in the football world. And he said he's been a lifelong fan. He's been a lifelong football fan. We're going to find out, Steve, because it felt like Steve knew everything about every single county in America, okay, especially in the swing states. I assume you have to do a little bit more research there, kind of dive into different counties and things and zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom in. There's a guy named Roger over here that hasn't voted yet. Look how he got down there. He did the mapping thing. He's going to be previewing the playoff picture, right? And I assume there's going to be a lot of, well, if this team wins, okay, so this team wins, they go here, they slide out, okay, NFC coming in, all right, LA, locked out, can't leave their house, they're probably going to lose. All right, let's slide them in, let's slide them out. I'll be excited to see what Kornacki does with it. We're pumped for him at Boston Connor when I asked him before this show what his biggest thing he's looking forward to this weekend was. It's not the Patriots being favored for the first time in a long time. Nope. Wasn't that. I mean, the Patriots are going out to Los Angeles. They might not be able to even get out of there if the mixed martial law continues. So the Patriots might become the Los Angeles Patriots after this whole thing, which would be a real shame for the New England fans who died in their own time. It wasn't that. It wasn't, you know, War Games he was obviously bumped about and everything like that. But he said he wants to see Kornacki in the football world. What if this becomes a regular thing? That Football Night in America could use a little Kornacki boost, don't you think?
I mean, I think we're all praying that it becomes a regular thing, but I'm also looking forward to, because of the county knowledge that you just mentioned with Kornacki, I'm assuming that the away teams in the playoffs, he's going to be able to break down how many fans from that away team live in the area that will actually be possibly at the game and rooting for the team.
I would assume that Kornacki knows, you know, the fans of teams in different counties, but also there will be an interesting little piece. You'll know probably how many people are allowed in different states. Now, I'm not saying that we don't know that because that is a pretty vital part of this entire football season here in 2020 with the COVID is how many people are allowed in each stadium and, you know, how, I mean, the San Francisco 49ers, you are in San Francisco, they're in Santa Clara. Well, they wish they were back in San Francisco. Santa Clara County kicked them the hell out of there. Now they're in the Arizona 49ers. I mean, there is a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot to chat about. I cannot wait to talk to Josh Allen here in about 13 minutes. You know, we got a chance to talk to him one time at Top Golf down in Atlanta. He hit the hell out of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great athlete, obviously. And I feel bad saying that, especially after talking to Cordell Stewart yesterday about saying, like, he's a great athlete, but he is. He's big. He made quite a jump from year one to year two. And then last year to this year, year two to year three, he's even gotten even better. At the beginning of the season, Bill's Mafia was pissed off at anybody that didn't have him in the MVP conversation. And the Bills had a little bit of adversity and some obstacles that they ran into. And now they're at home against the Niners on Monday Night Football. Is that at home or on the road? I think it's at home.
On the road, you've got to be sensitive with that.
Oh, they're playing in Arizona.
Yeah, it's in Arizona, Pat. Bills are getting a point, actually.
Where the Hail Mary took place.
No, come on, no empathy. Fucking A. Two different animations on two different sides of the spectrum. Slightly early and then slightly late because
so
of different
Bills on the
fucking
road Monday Night
speeds.
Football. Talk to Josh Allen about, what has he done differently? Is it just time in the game that's made it better? Is it maybe the offensive system? Is it his reads? What is it that's made him
It's
get
not-
better? Where will get him to the next step? Also, hobbies, what he's got going on, how's COVID going?
It's just this one fucking area right here that, right there. See, it's not Conway.
It was a great time. I've enjoyed my time down here in Orlando, and I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Florida and LA might be two completely opposite things. This place is open now. And I don't know.
It's all right if your feet are on the line. It's all right if you're a little bit forward of that. It's all right if you're a little bit back of that. But if you're right there, pushed back off the line, you're in trouble. Like that. Pushed back off the line. So I'm probably slightly early or late. I have no fucking clue, really. Because it's just so off.
A lot of schools are open. A lot of school zones, speed limits.
I gotta figure it out, though.
Buses are rolling. People are jogging, walking, no mask. I saw a 95-year-old lady last night in her hotel playing bridge amongst other olds, no mask on any of them. I mean, it's wide open down here in Florida, boys. I want to let you know that. How's the weather up there in Indianapolis?
Stinks.
It's chilly.
Cold, chilly. I mean, we're in the middle of having to scrape your windshield every single morning. Just started.
Listen,
I like the corner shots. That's the reason I'm planning on sticking with it. Because I'm probably going to sit this dude in the corner.
Okay, and everybody's like, well, a lot of cars have remote start. It's all right, that's most of the time, unless you're like a super chess player that thinks had like 30 minutes. That's only getting the bottom part of your windshield is just getting a little bit there. You gotta go outside. The old days, and you guys won't even know about these young bucks, Connor, Foxy, and all that. We used to have to take CDs.
Oh, yeah.
You used to get old CDs on the top.
God, that's perfect. Perfect. I guarantee it's going to be fucking early.
That's a tough time of year, but you know what?
Just to be a dick. It's
It's
late. It's late. That's so fucked. How am I supposed to fix
You really
that?
are, too, because you have like a 10-car garage, and it's so full of shit that you can't park a single car in it.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the truck now, the truck's too jacked up to get into the garage. And,
Too early. That's early for sure.
you'd think the Bentley you'd make room for, but just have it. Let that thing sit outside and battle the elements. That's on them.
I can tell on the walk-ups.
Yeah, I'm
It's just
a nice little wake-up
that little
call.
area
Wake
over
up
there
in
is
the
just
morning,
confusing the fuck out
Go
of me.
ahead and take a poop.
They're
do
saying that's
whatever,
late
brush
too.
your teeth,
Wow, I'm
rinse,
just off
shower, do
apparently.
the whole thing, do
Wow.
what you gotta do. And then you go outside and get smacked in the face.
Guess I'm not awake yet. I mean, not surprising. I've literally been awake since I turned on the stream. I just walked downstairs, turned on the stream, and booted up a game while I drink my coffee, kinda.
And then you get back in the car and look, the side window also. Gotta go do that. Then you get out there and then, God forbid if there's snow, as soon as you open the door, that thing just falls somehow. It's a scientific
Slightly late, slightly late,
how the
slightly
snow
late.
that's on top of your car finds a wind tunnel that is every time you open the door, it goes out and just shoots right onto your seats.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever you sit down, your entire ass is now drenched, you're cold, and you just got done doing manual labor so that you can drive then to your job. I mean, it is a kick in the sack, but I'll tell you what, boys, none of that's going on down here.
No.
I will say, the cold air, it will get old for sure, but that first smack in the mouth isn't so bad. It's been a little refreshing, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't know what they're saying about COVID, but maybe winter just kills them.
Oh!
I know anything
It's not the way it
virus.
fucking works, asshole.
That checks out.
Cold, yeah, it's detrimental. So,
Yeah.
That's one thing I hate about the Pat McAfee shows. They're kind of playing COVID really light, kind of joking about it, basically. Like, ha ha ha. Hope everyone survives, I guess. But you notice no one's died that's in the NBA or the NFL. That's because they're rich as fuck.
I'm not around a lot of old people. I'm not around a lot of old people in my life. Never have been. Jay knows this. Our grandparents passed away whenever we were young. We had a grandpa, but we weren't really around him that much. I assumed that the olds were just hunkering down. You know what I mean? Like, I thought every old I saw in public was going to look like potentially Andy Reid with that thing, and then like the thing, and then just like gas mask, baby. Down here, because Florida is like a lot of the olders.
I'm playing really bad, though.
They care less than anybody else. Hey, I saw somebody shoo away the hand sanitizer, an old lady yesterday. They shooed away the hand sanitizer.
It's beautiful, but it's late because I'm not awake.
Awesome. Yep.
I need to drink some
Don't
coffee.
worry, man. I've heard about all this stuff. Don't care. I want you to see my mouth when I'm telling you. Fuck. You got it. You got it. All right, let's take some phone calls here. Then we'll get to a break. Then we'll get Josh Allen. Then we'll break down all the games. And we got AJ Hawk joining us at some point today on his daughter's birthday. So thanks to him for that. Let's go to Noah in Wisconsin. Noah, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Pat, how are you and the boys doing on this Feel Good Friday?
I'll tell you what, I'm a lot better than the boys are. They all had to scrape their windshields, but I assume you're doing the same damn thing in Wisconsin, so I don't want to rub it in your face.
Oh, yeah, it's not great up here. Hey, so first of all, I just wanted to wish you good luck at War Games. I'm not a WWE fan typically, but I'm looking forward to seeing you kick some ass.
Woo. Thank you. I'm ready, man. I'm in good fight shape right now. But this is the lightest I've been, by the way. I mean, Colin Cowherd even said it on his show whenever they were talking about it. I guess Colin Cowherd said that Pat's looking thin. He needs to eat some candies. It's the holiday season. And I want to let Colin know, you're right. It has been very difficult. But this is the thinnest I've been, the lightest I've been. I feel like I can fly around. We'll see if it's to the detriment or to the positive for me or whatever. But I appreciate you, man. I'm ready for Sunday. I'm excited about it.
Sure. So also, quick happy birthday to AJ Hawk's daughter. And also, I was just wondering if any you and the boys have ever been hunting. It's a good pastime of mine, and I was wondering if y'all have ever indulged.
Did you get anything this year, Noah?
I did not. I had a good shot on a 6, but I decided to pass it. It was a little young. I wanted to wait till maybe a couple years to take that one.
Hey, trophy bucks only for Noah, dude. The trophy bucks only for Noah. I have been hunting before, and in Pittsburgh, believe it or not, you get the first day of buck season off at school. Okay? Wow. So, yeah, a lot of people wouldn't expect that. So I got the first day off of buck season through school. Tim McAfee, avid outdoorsman. We're talking avid. Now, you hear a lot of stories about Tim McAfee, and I assume people would assume that he was also a hunter just from what you've heard about him. But we're talking, whenever Jay and I were growing up, this is a guy that would put his hunting costume into a garbage bag with like deer piss and leaves, so that whenever he had to put it on, whenever he would travel to go hunt, and that thing was already baking for like a week or two, so that he could just blend into the woods. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to sneak up on these deer as if they had no idea, or attracted deer or whatever. So my brother and I, obviously, we went hunting whenever we were young. 12 years old, I think, is when you're allowed to hunt. Is that right?
Sounds about right, yeah.
I think 12 years old, you got to get your hunting license. You got to go through a gun thing, and I had to go to a gun permit place, or a gun
Safety
school.
course.
Safety bullshit thing, the whole thing. And my dad, we were shooting 30-06s as 12-year-olds, and I'm not sure if that's normal or not, but that thing's got some boom booms in there, you know. So every time we went shooting, the first couple times, obviously, I'm very scared. Boom, I'm getting bruises, and if your eye, if it's not as tight on your shoulder, the scope just kind of gives you a full black eye. It's an entire process to get to the hunt itself. You gotta learn how to shoot. You gotta learn how to do this. You gotta get certified. You gotta get this. Blah blah blah. So we go out there and hunt. And Tim McAfee took us 47 miles into the woods to go hunt. Jay?
He actually GPS'd it this year. I think it's literally like 4 miles in.
Yeah, 4 miles into the woods in Pennsylvania, which is, by the way, just up or down. You're going down mountains. It's just up or down mountains. So we went on a legit 4-mile hike through mountains in Pennsylvania. You have to wake up at 3 a.m., by the way, because the deer are moving early. So you got to get out there and you got to get to your spot deep into into the bush before the deer are even moving while sunset's happening. So you're waking up at 2:30, 3 a.m. to do this
Camp,
thing.
huh?
I mean, it was kind of cool. It was a good community. The first place we wanted to hunt at, they didn't have running water, so if you wanted to shower, you had to go down in the basement with a bucket of water. They had to cook it up, and then you had to dump it on yourself and then recycle it. I mean, it was a wild time to be alive. So Jay and I go out there. We got our outfits on. Tim's got the piss and the smell on his thing. We go out into the woods, and then you just sit there for 8 hours. You just sit there, and then you just hope the deer come. And then whenever they do, you hope you don't miss, or you hope that a tree doesn't get in the way whenever you're in the middle of the woods. And I've killed a deer before without even shooting it. Okay, there was zero in wound or exit wound. I just scared it to death, gave it a heart attack. Then I had to drag it the 4 miles out of the goddamn woods. And I enjoyed the time with my father, the camaraderie with my brother. But I think Jay and I both looked at each other and said, this hunting shit isn't for us. So I haven't been back since.
Yeah, it's a lot. I just used a nap, basically. I go in there, and I fall asleep. One time, Dad literally woke me up and said, hey, there's a deer there. I said, huh? Oh, shot it. No, we got it. Then I went back to sleep.
So we were, my dad, I think, is very pissed off that we didn't pick it up, you know, because a lot of his friends, like, that he hunts with and stuff, their kids all, you know, loved it and everything like that. It was just, it's not the right, I've never watched a Disney movie because it was too slow, right? I never got into series because it was
75
too slow.
and under only.
Just the slowest thing of all time.
Yeah. On a 77 on this character.
Also bust your ass to get
That's
it.
funny.
So, I respect people that do it, especially those who obviously don't do it just for show, but they eat their food and everything like that. And Tim McAfee, he'll make an entire venison, everything jerky and steak and everything like that. He's not going, but it's just not for me. Not for me. I have a good shot though. Only know I do have a good shot. You give me in a ring, I can go ahead. And by the way, I think I'm both eyed too.
Whoa, ambidextrous.
Yeah, I'm both eyed. So both eyes are good. I don't mind shooting, but I'm done killing things unless a motherfucker comes in the house. All right, I'm going to get to a break. Zito has a poll for the day. We'll look at that on the other side of the Josh Allen interview. You got about 4 minutes. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills on the other side. Can't wait to chat with him. I assume he was an avid hunter. We won't talk about that.
Oh, yes.
Welcome back to the Fat Magazine Show here. Sirius XM Channel 82. Back up Sports Radio. Let's get right to it. We've got a big time guest, ladies and gentlemen. With a big time arm, guys. Big time arm. And big time jump year to year in his ability. A guy that I think Bill's Mafia believes in to be the future of the franchise. He is the present, ladies and gentlemen, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. Drafted 7th overall just years ago, Josh Allen.
Yeah!
What's going on, dude? You're muted, Josh. Oh, you're muted, Josh. No, it's probably our fault. Josh, it's probably our fault if I can guess. Actually, it's probably yours, but it's not your fault. It's probably the Buffalo Bills' fault. So, I mean, we got to kind of go through the entire thing. Just let us know whenever you're ready. Did you see how cool that backdrop was, by the way?
Oh,
Normally people are putting in the closet, you know, because whatever. He's out at the practice facility with that entire backdrop. I cannot wait to see how this goes. If you guys get a heads up on whether or not this sounds good.
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you sound glorious,
there we go.
Josh.
There we go.
Hey, that backdrop there is incredible. That's a practice facility there. Are you guys doing meetings there and everything? The other way. Good. Is that where meetings happen and everything like that?
Yes, we got a lot of stuff set up. I want to show you guys the setup actually. Just a bunch of stuff in between partitions, meeting rooms. This is where we also eat. Obviously, it's a little different than what we're used to, but it works.
Yeah, so whenever, do you guys practice there as well? And then does everybody just kind of clean up the field right before you go out to practice and then they have to rebuild it all every single day?
That's exactly right. Unless we practice outside, but you know Buffalo, once this weather starts turning, we're going to have to be spending a lot of time in here. So it's going to be a lot of moving and shuffling parts, but like I said, it gets the job done.
How do you feel going into week 13, Josh? It's year 3 for you. Is this the most
just
comfortable
wow.
you've felt in an NFL season this far into it? The team obviously came out hot, had to go through some stuff. Feel like we still got everything in front of us that you could possibly want. How do you feel going into week 13, Josh?
I feel really good. You know, sitting at 8-3, and I believe we were 8-3 at this time last year, but completely different feeling. You know, we understand what it's going to take to get to where we want to get to. We're trying to win the division for the first time since '95. So this year before I was born. But we know that 8 wins isn't going to do it. We got to keep pushing. We got the Niners on Monday night. Some primetime games coming up. So we got to stay tuned and stay focused on the task at hand. And we'll get it done.
Playing the Niners in Arizona, this should be a blast. Obviously, COVID, there's a lot of things going on. Let's take a trip back. You get drafted 7th overall, and I remember learning about you through the draft process. Huge arm, obviously, a lot of scouts loved you. Then you end up at the Buffalo Bills. First year, what was the transition into the NFL like from the smaller school into the NFL?
I was expecting to be faster.
How would you document that first year? Because what I'm going to get to here is the incredible jump you took from year 1 to year 2, and then the jump from year 2 to year 3.
I gotta quit expecting and just fucking read the shot.
That from that first year,
it's killing me. Like, how I go from 80 fucking percent every game to.
Yeah, well, physically, I think I'm a
There you go.
person as far as
Pay
how my
attention.
mechanics
I know I'm
are.
eating and watching this, but fuck.
My rookie year, I was still trying to figure out my stroke. And quarterbacks are all different. You can deliver the ball in different ways. And after kind of sitting down for a couple seasons, studying film of guys like Aaron and Russ and Tom, and just being able to kind of pick some things from what they're doing and apply it to myself. It's been a long road, and it really hasn't been easy, but things are paying off. But that first
Slightly
year was
late.
a whirlwind. From getting drafted to rookie OTAs to training camp to the actual season, it just feels like it's compounded into this one long, never-ending saga. But when you get to the end of it, you get 3.5 months off with absolutely nothing, which was obviously new to me coming from college. You got spring ball, you had spring workouts, and all that jazz. But to have that time off and to just be like, go do your thing and have no one supervising you or telling you what to do is definitely tough. But I really appreciate the guys that came off with this time and have shown me the way.
Your arm talent was something everybody talked about. So, listening to you say, I got to change my mechanics a little bit, were you scared that what got you to where you were, it's like if you change it, it could potentially take away from you? Or were you, for instance, when I was kicking field goals, I was at such a strong leg. I had a very strong leg, but sometimes I had no idea what that was going to do. Like sometimes, you know what I mean? Because the ball is only this big or whatever. If you hit like this thing, there's a chance it's going to go wherever. So a lot of people would be like, why don't you just not swing as hard and maybe have more control? And I was always like, well, that's not going to work if that's not going to swing. With your arm talent being how it was, you could throw the ball a quarter mile out there or whatever. But like, were you worried about changing the mechanics, or did you just knew that wasn't necessary? I have enough strength that I'll be able to change some things if I had to.
Yeah, it was kind of that thinking. Very similar to you, where when I tried to slow things down within my arm, it just didn't feel right. Didn't come off the hand right. And I was so fastball, my first year coming out. But I did this really cool thing, and I got my whole mechanics digitally mapped. And it showed what was firing. My hips, then my torso, and then your elbow and your hands was firing. But my hand and elbow were firing damn near before my hips were. So I wasn't really incorporating any part of my legs in my motion. So being able to add my hips and make that as consistent as possible and try to slow everything else up top and use my hand kind of as the leverage for the speed and the accuracy, where it changed a lot of things, and the accuracy obviously has gone up, but it's actually added some MPH to my throwing power too. So it's been a really good process.
That had to be a pretty cool feeling.
God damn it, just pass the ball.
Hey, you
I'm
have
so sick
one of the
of it.
strongest arms the NFL has ever seen, and we just want to let you know, you're not even using like what you're supposed to be using. That had to be like a pretty cool day, because I assume whenever those results are coming back, for you there might have been a little anxiety. Like, all right, I'm excited to kind of learn about me a little bit. I'm about to learn more about me. And then, what is this thing that you did? You said you got your body tracked, and then whenever they tell you, like, yeah, you're not even doing anything what you're supposed to be doing at all, basically. We don't know how you got to this point without using your legs, but now that we are here, that was probably a very cool feeling to be like, oh my God, I can only get better from here, as opposed to probably a little bit of anxiety whenever you're sitting through waiting for the process to find out what it was.
It definitely was an awesome feeling. But I was sitting there with a couple of the quarterbacks, and I was the last guy to get talked about. So everybody else was like, oh, your hips firing at such a good rate. Everything's sequencing right, and the next quarterback, your hips are firing at such a great rate, and then you get to me, it's just like, yeah, dude, you're not doing any of this. So it was like a wake-up call, and be like, okay, maybe I should start, incorporating some new clubs in my bag and trying to hit a 63 and this and that. It's funny that I use golf as that metaphor, because I've actually learned a lot of my throwing from my swing in golf. And I don't know, I did that Top Golf deal with you at the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and I don't know if you remember that, but it was just, I was hitting that slice, and I was hitting the slice, and I was putting it in the back of the end zone, or back of the end thing, but I've calmed it down, and I can actually work the ball a little bit better now in my actual golf game, and I think it's actually correlated to what I can do on football too.
Well, as you were explaining that your hand was in front of your hips, like that was just classic golf metaphor that you were making there. So as you were saying that, I kept thinking of your golf swing because even though that thing was flying everywhere, you were slaughtering the golf ball. I think that is one thing we all took away from that. It's like Josh Allen might have hit a ball today, like 400 yards. That might have actually. Now, granted, you had no clue where it was going, which, by the way,
not at all.
You're out there hacking. You weren't really golfing at that point. You were just swinging at that game. And it was awesome to watch. Good for you. How was the offense? Like, for instance, Patrick Mahomes last year, he was on the barbershop with LeBron, and I'm waiting for your invite onto that show. But he said in there, he said in there that he didn't really understand how to read a defense.
I want to see the barbershop with LeBron. I should look that up.
And you listen to a lot of other quarterbacks that have played before, and they're like, it takes some real time to be able to understand what the hell the defense is doing because it's so sophisticated in the NFL.
I wonder how long the episodes are.
Are you at the point?
Close this podcast out. Is it not a YouTube thing? The Shop is a paid show. Okay. What's it on? Oh, it's HBO. Okay. Watch The Shop, uninterrupted, episode full, all series. What if you go to the actual official one? Is it just not?
When you think about the history of African American athletes,
Yeah, it's not the full episode. That's why.
dating back to Jack Johnson, the boxer, and then you've got Jackie Robinson.
Okay, so what if I go to this? It says it's full episodes.
Was my favorite stand-up ever. When he became a big movie star, he stopped doing the stand-up, the 1 hour. Kev does both. He's like, fuck that. This is what I'm doing. So listen, you get shit for it. He's a movie star and a stand-up star at the same time. I've never seen it.
You also got shit from fellow comedians.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I can go down the list.
How'd you take that? Like, comedians coming.
By the way, I was explaining to Bob when I cut my hair, because this is out-of-town haircut I just made. These two bald-headed want to, like, make fun of me.
The instruction was based around here, do this, and the back, up top.
I'm saying that, but you, exactly, it's nothing to talk about this. But
I get it all off, though.
You take it all off.
And I just need
your hairline funny style, so you should understand. Like, the truth of the matter is, do you have a bald head or not?
Yes.
I mean, having all-star migrant at the same time, who does that? Somebody needs to rethink the logistics, man. I mean,
Somebody needs to think the logistics. You can't rethink it. They never thought about it.
Because the truth of the matter is, Mardi Gras is actually on the calendar.
Right.
Like, it's not like it was a secret. It's not like, we just found out we were Mardi Gras.
What you bring, Mr. Stout?
It's an 82 Latour, you know. Every time I'm with the king, we can't just be talking about top fives in sports and music and not talk top five wines.
This is your 13th?
13th, no. This is my 13th All-Star appearance. This is my 14th All-Star weekend.
Does that bug you out?
You know what bugs me out is I'm the oldest person in the game. That's why I'm bugged out.
You guys have played in some of the greatest games of all time. You know when you're in it,
right?
That holy, like this is we're in it, or are you just lost in the game?
You don't know.
You don't know.
No, you don't know. No, you're just playing.
Like you don't know at that point in Game 7. Like yo, this about to be one of the greatest Game 7s ever. Like you don't know this block about to happen. Like you don't know. Yeah, you don't know Kyrie about to hit this shot after neither one of our teams have scored in 4 minutes and 32 seconds. You don't know that.
Do you even realize nobody scored in 4 minutes? No.
No. You have no idea. You just hoop. You just hoop. All you saying is like, I don't want this man in front of me to score. That's all you thinking. That's it.
Are you tired at that point? Fourth quarter, 3 minutes. Are you tired? Like, are you?
No.
I mean, you didn't ask for a sub, but does that even factor in?
You're tired, but that's the last thing you telling yourself though is I'm tired. You tired, but the real ain't gonna never tell themselves they tired. You're tired now.
What is that? Slightly
you
what?
might even bend over and
Slightly
hold
late.
your knees, but you would never.
You need to know these things with this corners.
Like, yo, I'm tired. You ain't gonna let yourself do it.
Bro, when you went down, was your wrist? Were you hurt?
When he went down with?
When he went down in the game, when he went up for the. Oh, this year. No, last year, in the last 4 minutes, LeBron went to the hoop. He went down. Yeah, he went down.
When I went to the free throw line.
Who fouled you?
Oh.
It was you?
That game was a blur, man. Straight up. And I remember, like, every play of every game. That game was a blur.
That shows you y'all in it. Y'all not thinking about
That
anything.
game was a blur.
I want to say, when I went to the Olympics, and you got a lot of Olympic coverage this year. I'm not sure if you really know that. You felt like you was the swimming team, the volleyball team. You was like you was on every team, on the basketball team. And watching the final for the gold game, it was actually the first time in my life that the Star Spangled Banner actually meant a lot to me. And I got fired up. Man, I got fired up. Do you feel like that sometimes when you hear the Star Spangled Banner?
That was big. Like, to start that game, the gold medal game, like, hearing that, standing on the podium, but even more so, when I hear it now, it means more to me.
Yeah. I think that's what I appreciate more than anything about Coach K.
Mm-hmm.
Coach K make you really, really understand and appreciate what representing your country is all about.
Really? Does he appreciate a lot?
Absolutely. They don't even talk about basketball that much. They just talk about like the commitment, like being there for your brother, like fighting for your brother, like being part of Team USA, being a part of the United States of America, what it means to represent the red, white, and blue. Like, when y'all stand up there, yeah, he's a military guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it fires me out. Right. It fires me out.
By the way, Coach K, this season, what he did with Duke,
Damn,
is one of the greatest things I've ever heard.
I gotta pound it in my head, all these different animations. I was doing fine with it.
He was out having back surgery, right? So he calls a team meeting at his house. So he informs the team, you guys are not playing to Duke standard, so I'm locking you out the locker room. Get dressed in the hallway.
You change in the hallway.
Get dressed in the hallway. You can't use the locker room. That's one. Two, until further notice, don't wear anything that says Duke on it.
On campus or no?
I don't want to see anyone wearing
anything.
anything.
Duke basketball, I don't want to see even a Duke t-shirt.
You gotta wear all high school.
Just Target. Wherever you want. Don't go in my locker. That's like my grandmother. Don't go in my refrigerator.
Right.
And stay out of my.
I told you, stop running in and out of this house. I told you, and that was the last time I told you running in and out of this house.
So they got put on punishment. When we set up practice, coach, absolutely. So where are we supposed to get dressed, coach? I don't care. Just be at practice. Think about that. I respect that.
God, that's good.
Let's lock in.
They playing, but
Let's lock in. We gotta get focused.
That means we got really, really locked in. Like,
they turned it around. Dre is right. They balling right now.
They playing well. We got another guest over here.
You guys would never believe I walked here. I swear to you, I walked.
Here he comes with the bullet.
You ain't got that look. Where you ain't sweat? Shirt and wriggle. You should be fantastic.
I guarantee you.
Gotta be slightly early then. I intentionally made sure I released right on.
You know what? Draymond and I were just having this conversation. Some people love
Slightly
the
late.
process.
See that animation's fucked. It's just right here. Like I cannot figure it out.
Talk. It's very clear to tell who loves it or not. When you hear Bill Belichick win the Super Bowl and say, "This is great," and there's no other place I'd rather be than standing here tonight. But no honesty, we're 5 weeks behind every other team in the NFL for the 2017 season. The first thing you go is like, he's insane, but he just wants to get. This is great. This is what I got to get back into the process. That's what I'm pulled toward. When you hear Tom Brady say, "I'm definitely playing to my mid-40s," I now have all the answers to the test. Why would I stop taking it now? You can't show me the defense I like. He's crazy, man. He's crazy.
I want to ask you, Phil, because I went to half of those games. How did you know, like, while we having this conversation, was it some kind of information that you just knew that you were going to come back from 3-1? Did you know this? Like, did y'all have a real sit-down, just a team meeting with y'all? Because it could be some things that make, like, a real momentum shift.
It was just, it wasn't like, it's all about belief in yourself, man. And all of us, and whatever we do, it was just like.
It was so good the other day. I figured out every single thing naturally.
For me, and it's like, I mean, as great as you know their team is, and still today, it's just like
what the fuck has changed?
Belief in yourself, like you're there for a reason. Like we're all here for a reason. Like you know what I'm saying? There's no cakewalk to get to that position. Like you just gotta like. I don't know, dog. You just gotta
Stop being awake, I guess. It's the only thing I can think of. Because that should be good. To me, that's good. That's a great release. But it's slightly late, so something's going on. Something's wrong.
Or even compete for one when you left Miami and back. Coming back from 3-1 is great, but Cleveland can be great again.
No, that's it.
Me looking at how things started, first of all, I always felt like Kyrie was a dog. He just didn't have anyone to play with, and then when he got around somebody that had wisdom and some kind of like structure, I felt like his game was going to turn around anyway. You got a lot of players that I see that basically are playing because they love the game, but they know they're not going to win, so it's still like a little piece of their game that we haven't seen yet because it hasn't been opened up yet. You know what I'm saying? Like you put certain players on teams where they can actually compete. You will see stuff that we already knew Kyrie was dope, but when he got around, bro, he was able to open up a little bit.
That's the hardest thing.
There's no guarantee that happens.
That's the hardest thing in our league to kind of like
judge a player.
Because like.
You never know what's going to happen, exactly.
Yeah, and we fall into it a lot because you like, I don't want him. He's been on his 7 years. He's never played in one playoff game. I don't really want him. Like, and I'll say that, or I'll be like, I don't really know what he would do for. Like, I don't like his attitude. But it's like you never know because a change of scenery.
Why? That's what I don't get. Why is it different? It's eat me alive. I need to check and make sure it's the same jumper.
Let me give you the other side of that.
How does it go from dialed the fuck in to slightly late? I need to drink this coffee and wake up because I'm going to end up changing the jumper soon.
Google, you see this place, you see that place, you see whatever industry you're in, you're looking at skill sets, but nothing in their resume
Quit shooting, bitch.
talks about work ethic. And everybody gets credit that they didn't do. We all do. Right? That's part of the thing. You were part of a team, you're part of a thing. So what role did you play in actually driving the outcome versus being a teammate of the outcome? And great CEOs, great managers of teams, great coaches, GMs, that's the real decision you got to make.
Fuck!
Like, was it the guy or was it the environment the guy was in? Is he bad for our locker room or was he just bad for that locker room?
It's a combination of things. Because here's the thing. It's the player. It's the people around the player. It's about having a maturation process. If a guy don't understand what he actually supposed to be doing.
Well, that's the coach.
What's up, James? Sorry about that loss, man. Man.
Oh, we love you. shoes a little too tight, baby. What? I can still run.
Listen, we got a lot of guys. I told Stout this, and Stout just brought it up.
LeBron told me this at the Knicks game, and he starts going through the tendencies of the athletes. But the thing that was most important, he's like, these are guys that are running around, and they have no idea what their roles are. They don't even know where to shoot. So we're looking at Shumpert's on the Knicks, and he's running around. He goes, this guy is great. He just doesn't even know where to shoot. He doesn't even know what he's supposed to do. He doesn't want to shoot.
One is coaching. Because we got a lot of coaches that don't want to coach.
What are they doing?
At all levels, I'm telling you.
What are they doing, man? So what are they doing?
But the first thing the coaches will do in training camp, you know your 12 players, a coach, you know what you got. You got to set the locker room right away.
Right away.
You do this, you're an energy player, you know your role, you come in, you shoot threes, you're a ball mover, you're a
Wow.
defender. So
fuck this shit. I'm getting so mad, it's not even funny. I have no idea what the fuck changed that I'm shooting 80 to 90% to nothing. Like, this is nothing. I could shoot this with Duckworth. There's no reason. I don't know what it is about this animation right here, but I either get it or I'm done with this fucking jumper. No fucking way am I gonna stay here and white every fucking one. No fucking chance in hell. Fuck this game. I can go get some meat right now rather than sit here and get pissed off.
It unravels the whole, because at the end of the day,
I don't want to play this game at all.
Sports, business, everything, we just want to win.
I'm not having any fucking fun playing it. I'm so sick of the money grabbing bullshit.
Specifically the Dre.
It's money. Every fucking shot is money.
You're telling me there are players that play in the NBA that don't, professional players that don't know their role?
I'll tell you one step further. There's a lot of players in the NBA that don't know how to play basketball.
They don't, and they in the NBA do not know how to play basketball.
But they can play basketball. I know how to play basketball. I can't play. There is guys on high level making
Let's start on the All-Star team right now.
On the All-Star team.
Bad efficiency. This is what it is. Hey, it's volume shooters. There's a lot of volume shooters on the All-Star team, but can't make their team win. If you watch a lot of games, you go to a lot of games. You watch the team all the time in Atlanta. They don't have a superstar. They don't have anybody that can take over a game. They got a good coach. He got a good system. They play good together. Keep Atlanta, they play good together.
Let me tell you this one thing. When you listen to commentators or people talk about sports, they talk about, oh, he's a smart player. Like, Tristan Thompson is a smart player. He just doesn't do anything he can't do. That's very smart.
That's what we talked about. We played it this week. But
to Bron's point, also he was educated very early on what he needs to do. And when LeBron came back to the Cavs, I said to Tristan, okay, let's do highways, 4 lanes. LeBron's a Ferrari, Kyrie's a Lamborghini, Kevin Love's a Rolls Royce. What vehicle are you? He's an F-350 heavy duty. You know why? Because you pick up the sanitation. You get paid to do everything no one else wants to do. And guess what? At the end of the day, when they go to the South of France, you can go too. You can meet them there. No problem. And put your pride to the side.
But nobody ever recognized that as smart, Steve. And that's
very smart.
That's
knowing
smart.
what you don't know is smart.
Knowing what I can't do that, so I'm not going to do it.
That's why he's so good. Right. This is what I do, and I'm gonna do it at a high. That's why he's so good.
It's why Oak was
incredible.
Listen, these two guys are like carbon copy of each other, and Oak and Dre is carbon copies of what the league is today, and the league at daytime. This is what we do. We're gonna do it at a high level, and I'm gonna do it better than you at what I do.
And these guys took it a step. These two guys took it one step further. You on my team? You shoot and make threes. If you don't shoot and make threes, we're gonna have to talk about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oak would do that. Like, you're supposed to get 25. If you don't get 25, we gotta talk about this, bro. I'm rebounding. Why you getting 25?
You might make my job a little bit harder.
We do all the score. We do all the, rebound, set picks, make sure y'all okay.
PR, you want to take it a step further? Guys don't watch basketball.
I hate that.
You play the NBA, it's a Thursday night on TNT, and you're not watching the game.
I watched a Division II college basketball game on ESPNU yesterday. and made my wife watch it with me. I swear to God, this team that I watched, they ran flex for 40 straight minutes. For 40 straight minutes, they ran flex the whole game. They won 45-39. I'm not naming the school. They won 45-39. They ran flex for 40 straight minutes, dog. I swear
Let me
to
ask you this. And have you come across guys in the NBA who don't even know what a flex code is?
Oh, what? What? Man.
It's easy. I learned the flex in 7th grade basketball. I can run it right now.
Yeah, but
it's all it is a baseline cut with a down straight.
Yes.
But you know, opposite side.
Bingo. Guys, I've seen guys that turn
and if you
around
run it
all the
over and
time.
over, you'll actually get a decent shot. You get a
So
quick
like
shot.
what Oak's saying, it all comes around to coaching.
It's the right jumper. I just don't know what the fuck happened to it. Why is it different? How does it change? It's a different release point now. It's not lining up.
I'm blown away by hearing you guys say there's people in the league that don't know how to play basketball, or there are rappers that don't know how to rap.
That's a great question.
Yes, it is.
Still at max speed. Still right.
Oh, you've been saying that. I heard a lot. BMW 735. You've been pumping music. You've been for 20 years. Not only do rappers not know music, I can tell you one step further. Very, very few artists know the business. Maybe 10.
You're saying 10 artists
Know the music business at all. They don't know anything. They can't follow the money. They don't know how to get paid. All they want to do is get a record deal. And it's the beginning and the end of their career.
That's the dream, though, Stout. You know that, been in the game so long, the dream is to get signed. Like, I try to preach that, signing yourself to somebody, basically, setting yourself up for enslavement or whatever it is. So I try to preach independence. But coming up, when you see 50 get a deal, when you see Hope, when you see whoever get their deal, Cash or whatever, it's like,
Fuck me. I can't believe how different it is. I don't know if it's just me not being awake yet or if it's really that it's this different, but it feels a lot. I'm not greening at all. You're talking about 80% all greens. How many games the other day, yesterday, whenever it was?
It's like a hill, but that's the goal that we have as black men coming from where all of us has come from. Even when we looked at, I looked up the hustlers coming up. I didn't want to be nothing else but a hustler when I came up. To the point I was so messed up mentally, I almost used to want a stomach because that symbolized money in my neighborhood. When you had a necklace that was hanging over here,
that's unbelievable.
When you was fat and had everybody around me had.
By the way, this thing goes on and on. In the music business, it's devastating what they do. These guys are in no man's land at the age of 18. They get signed. Somebody gives them some money, and they own their name for 20 years or longer. So when you see Prince, when he wrote Slave on the side of his face, he wasn't crazy. He was just way ahead of his time. He knew what was going on. Chance the Rapper is nothing but a manifestation of what Prince was talking about in 1996. There's going to be a revolution in the music business. There's going to be a huge revolution in the music business.
Who's going to get credit with starting? Chance? Does he get the credit?
The credit in changing it, Luke Skywalker did it. He never got the credit for it. Master P did it. He never got the credit for it.
Cash Money?
Cash Money did it. They didn't get the credit for it. Whoever operationalizes it, so it's not a one-off, so it's not one thing and then done. Chance is just chance and then done. It needs to happen for 100 people.
Yes.
And whoever can operationalize it,
no. He had the same side of Dub.
As soon as Jay and Dame, they did their thing, but then they got a record deal.
That's the dream, Stout. You doing rap.
I'm not.
That's the dream.
I'm not disrespecting.
And even if you get the deal and erase it and don't do it and say everybody next week, it's just that I got a deal.
I'm not disrespecting the record deal.
I know it's not disrespectful. I'm just
saying. I know that's the dream, but if the dream is to really make money,
that's not the route.
That's not the route.
But you gotta understand. I remember, I can. Okay, so once again, I go back to Player Circuit days. The reason I was solo with Disturbing the Peace because Dollar was locked up. So when Dollar got out of jail, I said, let's do this deal with DTP. Let's be the first group or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I remember back then, shocked at them, they were giving us $50,000 for our deals. So I wanted that, you know what I'm saying? And so he offered the group 75. And so I said, cool, I'll take 50. And you get 25. And he was like, nah, we gotta split this in half. And I was like, I worked too hard. 37, whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? and then you know, Dollar says, man, we just need to get in the door, get our foot in the door. You know what I'm saying? How we think we just need to get in the door. Once we get in the door, we're gonna make our moves.
So that's how you end up in that.
That's how I end up in that.
You're the only artist in the shop right now, right? My music artist. What's the first emotion, or what's that feeling when you hear your name on wax, someone coming at you? What's that thought process? You have to have heard someone come at you.
Has somebody said your name on the track before?
Honestly, if it's like anything that triggers us, coming from where we come from, is the need to feel like you can't disrespect me like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in a much mature place, kids and everything like that. So I want to play myself off the streets like, you know, maybe somebody younger. But it's like that. It's the reason why he took his Twitter off his phone. It's the reason he don't look at social media during the playoff. It's this thing, this trigger that we got. That even though we like rigged somewhere else and they're like losers in this little room, it's certain things that can like trigger us. Certain little things.
It's perfect you say that. And you, Bron, you know, you're my brother. You say this, and you the one statement you said that I play in my head daily is progress over pride.
I mean, for me personally, when I decided to go back to Cleveland, I had to decide, like, because our owner at the time when I left decided to put out this article that we all know about, where he completely, like, bashed me and, like, disrespected not only me as an individual, but he disrespected my name. And my name is not just myself, it's my wife, it's my kids, my grandfather, you know what I'm saying, my mother, so many more people. So, you know, for me, when I decided to go back, and I talked to like Mav and Rich and Randy and everybody, and I had to let them know, because some people was on the fence. Like, even my wife was like, my mama and my wife was like, yeah, I ain't with that.
Your mom was definitely
my mom was definitely like,
she
yeah, we ain't going back. And for me, it was more, I had to finally just be like, you know what, Mom, it ain't even really about that. You know, me going back is more of this. It's more of a bigger picture, and it's more of all these kids, all these people that need inspiration and need a way to get out, and I believe I'm that way out. And so I had to be like, as much as like my mom meant everything to me, and my wife meant everything, my kids, and like, you know, my mama, she was just so like, I'm like, listen, you go back, I ain't going back with you. Like, she's like, I'm staying in Miami. Yeah, well, I'm going somewhere else. Send me somewhere else. I had to be like, let's not worry about the small, and let's worry about us trying to build something that's bigger than our name.
I want to bring up this topic. After I watched Tom Brady win the Super Bowl, it made me start to think that the only thing that marks greatness is consistency over a long period of time. And you have to do it over and over.
How many did Tom win? 5?
He's been there 7 in how many years?
16.
That's like mind-boggling. What Tom Brady did over the history of my life is the greatest thing I've seen in sports.
My only argument with a football player being the greatest athlete of all time,
53 members of the team,
is that, no, not even that, Jesse, is that they only got to play one side of the floor, man.
That's a good point. That's a legitimate
Yes,
argument.
Brady is unbelievable. Brady is the greatest quarterback I ever seen.
That's a great point.
But he affects the game one way. And that's by throwing the ball out. It's great.
You're right.
And it's great.
He doesn't affect the game one way.
Brady can play 22 years.
Bronny doesn't affect the game one way.
He can play 22 years, but he don't have to worry about it's certain things like as a basketball player.
Or play the other side.
Bronny doesn't affect the game one way.
Just as a basketball player and the pounding that you take and running both sides, okay, I got to do offense. Oh, I got to get back on defense. Oh, I got to get back on offense. Oh, I got to get back on defense. As physical as football is, and I know it's to the body, I know it's crazy to the body, but for a quarterback, Belichick has done a great job of implementing those 5 guys in front to protect that asset. Every Sunday.
That's the best.
So Belichick, that's not Brady. Belichick's not recruiting or looking, scouting those linemen, bringing in, all those guys. For us, every single night, like, you have to, like, you gotta know both sides. Like, we both play football. You played football. Rich played football. Uncle, he played football. The offense never even talked to the defense all week. We don't even speak to y'all.
Different teams.
It's 2 different teams. Actually, it's 3 different teams. Special teams. When I played football, offensively, I never even talked to the defensive side.
That's the truth.
I never even talked to y'all. Ain't nothing to talk about. And I'm sitting down, chilling. I'm sitting down like this on the bench. Oh, turn over. Oh, my helmet. I don't even know what my helmet is. You grabbing a chin strap. Come on, man. You remember that?
Brian, the only thing I gotta say about Brady, the one thing about Brady,
I'm not saying he's not great. He's the greatest football player of all time.
16 years. Oh, you know this. Dre, you know this. That guy goes like this. Get him a helmet. Can you catch? Come on. Can you run? Get him a helmet and a jersey. Wait, how much you weigh? You can block.
That's him and Belichick.
No, guys. These 3, give me these guys. Get in the car with me. We're going to the Super Bowl.
What about Gronkowski?
We are going to the Super Bowl.
Once they get up, he hold these guys accountable.
What? You got 2 hands? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the ball. Oh, he can catch. Belichick, give him a helmet.
So
He's
you
with me. Let's go.
Or is that on Belichick's system?
No, I don't do that. That's
more Belichick's hands.
I got some thing back too. And so did Jacoby Brissett or whatever his name is this year. And so did Garoppolo.
Brian and Jay, you know
Is that more
Coach can draw up the greatest system. Somebody got to execute it.
You gotta have a staple.
I gave a great idea.
You gotta have a staple.
Somebody has to execute. Belichick didn't come back in 23.
Oh, no, 23.
Throw the 3 white wide receivers.
Just do that. 3 white guys.
How do you do that?
Listen, we can do this all night long. That's the beauty of the
Show
shot.
me the bad guy.
The beauty of the shot.
Okay. We'll take my mic off so I can get it.
We're doing them. We got some more shit. Let's get it.
Top 10, listen. I thought about this today. I see.
Some of the animations are still beautiful. It's just there's a couple of them. I'm seeing one that's going on one side of, early basically, and then one on the other side.
Hey, look, you put your camera on me. I want to say, Chris looks like Tommy Lee Davis. Tall Tommy Lee Davis.
And I want to start with these guys. I mean, we all have a connection, to this city, to each other in some kind of way. At least for me, it's funny being in this scenario now after, moving on to Miami from this town and then coming back in a different capacity. But seeing how everybody has been successful in their own ways, that's what I'm most interested in. And just for you guys, I mean,
Fuck.
where was the start?
It's like one step back, a completely different animation. I understand it's a different shot speed from there. I get that. I'm not worried about the speed as much as I want it to line up on his head the same. And it's not.
In Ohio, everywhere I go, I talk about being from Akron and trying to give inspiration to kids, youth, and people of that nature. And then when you're able to become successful, you meet people in life.
That one's easy to time.
Help motivate you and inspire you.
Because my feet are right up on the line.
You never know why people
I'm getting one of 3 animations every time.
And it puts me in this position.
And they're all lining up by the head.
Sitting with 2 of the greatest guys that I've ever encountered with
I'm gonna end up having to
certain
sit in the corner. I just know it.
obviously,
I don't think I can do the hash mark thing.
people don't know about, but how we just collectively inspired each other, and then you sit back and you just say, I'm truly blessed. And, you at this table right now.
I just like to say, just based off your attire, you're like the Lawrence Fishburne interview. I'm just going to preface with that, and then I'm just going to go into, for me, for me, like, how we all got here was like, when you were here, we were all just kind of admiring the fact that you were incredible at your craft, and what you brought to the city. You brought that sort of that franchise feel to our city, and I always had a great admiration for you. And then to meet you, you're an incredible person. I mean, that's kind of our story. I unfortunately didn't really get involved as much in the Raptors or basketball element when we first met. I wish I was. And then with Braun, I think for me it was kind of just the ascending at similar times. And I think one of the most pivotal moments for me in my career was when you showed up to the So Far Gone party in Toronto. That prominent marriage between sports and entertainment, it was really big for us. And then from there, I mean, not to be like overly sentimental, but you've obviously just been we're brothers and we're friends, but you're one of the biggest inspirations, period, in life. I think for anybody that is into dominating and just being overwhelmingly incredible at what they do. So I mean, that's kind of how we're all here, I guess. Is that good enough?
It's pretty good.
All right.
You still pretty good, bro. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just start with my first experience with you guys. Brian, we played each other. We ran into each other 3 times over the course of the summer in 2001. Yeah, 2001. And the first one was in Navy City camp. And I didn't know who you were, but I knew your name. And you just start killing some guy from Ohio. And he was like, I'm going to check that guy. He was super adamant about guarding you. And I just remember, yeah, sure, whatever. By the end of the game, I'm asking, who is this guy? And somebody said, oh, that's LeBron James. And, it kind of started off from there. We played AAU against each other a couple times. And I mean, right off the bat, you kind of know the face that you're going to see for a long time. And for me, I was just trying to aspire to be like we all were, right, and attaining that top level. And then, I mean, it's crazy how kind of things come around and, being able to play with you, being in the same draft class, and, having you as one of those guys to push me every day. Because when I was here, kind of like what Drake was alluding to, that was one of my inner passions was to, be the level that you were at, because as a player, I wanted that as well. And I felt that I should be in that conversation. Yeah. That's what drove me. Drake is funny, bro. I mean, like you say, in the city at that time, I mean, it just was kind of hanging out, and everybody was just around, and it didn't feel special, or it didn't. I mean, we were just happy to be hanging out. I know I was. I mean, for me, it was just nice to be able to do other things, to go to parties, to hear records, or to hear people doing their thing, to get away from basketball, and at the time it seemed so unattainable, especially for Canadian artists. Not sure Canadian artists.
No, 100%.
But, it kind of was a negative connotation at the time. It was it's kind of a thing that puts you in the box. It's so crazy just to see you do so many great things. Do you remember how, each step that you made on the way, or is it kind of just some blur that you just blink and then you're here?
When diving into the Taco Bell app, you might get lost in something crunchy, cheesy, and delicious, like a free $5 Chalupa Cravings box, available for a limited time.
Okay, this might sound purpose to get the fuck past it.
Sign up and discover more in the Taco Bell app.
Just some blur that you just blink and then you're here.
it's been a journey, you know, and it's been incredible to do it this way. I guess the further we get, the more you forget the early stages. Even when you talk about just being like, you were not from here, but you were a Canadian basketball player, right? It's tough to feel big. It's tough to feel. There was a time where it was really tough to feel like we could ever transcend that sort of like that actual literal border. It was tough to get over that border. Now I think we've developed like a whole new monster.
You can't make it.
I think we
It's
probably have
crazy.
some of the most passionate,
Because you actually have to
vital
time it for some
fans.
reason, even though I
We
shouldn't
have a
have to.
city that is so proud, and we have like a bunch of people that are, beyond diehard for not only basketball, but just for like everything that the city stands for.
For sure, Toronto is one of the only place that no matter where I go in the world, I meet somebody from Toronto.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
And they'll always tell you that they're from there, and they'll always draw the parallel, like, oh, I'm from Toronto, and they'll look at you like, recognize me, because we share that bond in life. So I think as a city, we've all been on that journey for a long time, and I think maybe in the last, obviously, I think it started with Vince. I think it graduated to you, and then I think now we've gotten to a place where we've even created stars, guys that have been on the team that maybe have gone to other teams after and wouldn't be stars, but they were stars here or they felt like stars here. I think that now we've gotten to a point where if we were to ever get at this stage in basketball, that thing, that thing, you know what I'm saying? If we were to ever get that guy, if you ever had but honestly though, not joking around, but if you ever had a LeBron that came here and played, I think you would see something that you've never seen before. Yeah. The city is so appreciative.
Yeah, and they did get it. They got Kawhi after this.
So it is a special place in that regard. I think that people come here and we definitely, I know it's the winter and the taxes and all that stuff, but I think the love you gotta feel it.
That's one of the things I definitely felt. And it's funny because seeing me, being able to play with a guy like Vince Carter, because that's what we're here for. What did Vince Carter mean to you as a basketball player? Because I know, like, for me, Vince Sanity, half man, half man, we can keep going all day. But, like, what was it about Vince Carter that kind of, inspired you as a basketball player?
I've been watching Vince since he was in high school. Even as a young kid, and watching him in the McDonald's game. Obviously, I followed him. I was a huge. I wanted to go to North Carolina at the time, so him going to Carolina, it was like, okay. Watching Ed Cota throwing the lobs to him with him, Antoine Jameson, and all those guys in that team. So I'm watching. When you're watching Vince, you are understanding this guy is bigger than North Carolina. He's the guy in a college game that gets about 12 to 14 points, but he has no business out here on this court. He's out here, this is just straight up, he's just straight for the condition. And when he gets to the next level, whoever gets him is gonna be special. So, for me, and for all of us, it's something about basketball when a guy can literally, when you really look at him, you think he's flying. You're like, what the fuck? How did he just do that? And Vince was that guy. Vince was that guy where you like, if you get one dribble inside that 3-point line, you better move. Even in college. You better move or you're going to be on the poster. And for a kid like myself, who started to find his way with some athleticism, you looked at Vince like, man, I ain't going to be able to get to that point, but if I can get half or 3/4 of it, then I'm doing something right. So, and I didn't even know the passion of Canada or Toronto at the time. I had no idea. I just knew that what he was doing was something that the game really, we seen Mike fly. We've seen Doc fly, and Dominique. We've seen him, fly. We've seen Clyde Drexler fly. But Vince he took it to another level when you talk about flying. We hadn't seen him like that.
For sure. And I mean, I guess for you, Trey, being able to see a guy like that flying and being able to inspire a whole generation, how did that feel being a kid in the city, trying to aspire what you're trying to aspire, but being able to see a guy with Toronto across his chest mean this for basketball?
For me, I didn't play ball, so to hear Braun talk about sort of the technicalities of it is amazing. Like to hear the actual admiration for the craft. I mean, we all watch greatness, right? So it's, when you get to witness that, it's pretty evident. But for me, it was different, man. For me, it was a time. It was a time marker because when Vince was popping in the city, we had nightclubs that seemed larger than life. We had celebrities coming to our city and performing that would have never been here before. We had rappers and people from here that were acting like we were in New York. People were driving different cars and starting businesses, and he created a culture for us that we had only seen on television. So,
what about that made you guys feel that way?
Just because we had somebody and people were gravitating to us, So everybody was like, "Oh, you're paying attention to that? Well, look, I got." Everybody kind of got charged off his energy, off his excitement, and he wouldn't shy away from it. That was the other thing. Vince wasn't like one of these guys that's like, "Oh yeah, I'm out here, but I'm gonna just go straight home and you won't." I mean, he was like, "Yo, I want you to see me. I'm gonna open a club in the city. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna be in." He was in music videos like. I think I rapped about it, but Vince did a cameo in Cardinal, Glenn Lewis videos like that. To me, was crazy because those were guys that I didn't know if they could go that far at that time. I don't think any of us thought we could go that far at that time. And the next thing you know, we got Jay-Z performing in a parking lot for Rock the Caravana, which we had never heard of in our life, but they just created an event around our city because we just had excitement. We finally had something. That's kind of what I talk about, or that's kind of what I mean when I say when you give this city something, they're gonna make it into everything.
That's it's funny you say it, and it's one of the main things that for me as an athlete, Toronto made me feel welcome, feel special, because I would definitely notice a difference. Up here, people would recognize you, show love and everything. You go to the States, it's a little different, and it was always one of those strange things where my family and friends would come in town and they'd be blown away just by how many people would show up at an appearance or at a game or just sign up, line up for autographs and stuff like that. It made me, it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, one of my friends jokes called me Michael Jackson and stuff, so I could only imagine for you. How?
You look like Blade right now.
The fuck game, man. What the fuck? Me even missing the shots that I never miss. Ever fucking miss. Ever. You give me fucking takeover, I can walk up there and hit every fucking shot. And that's legit. It's not boasting. It's 10 for 10 every fucking time.
Look like vampire.
You know what I'm saying?
No, look.
What is it?
Which part is it? It's a double B's.
Double B's? That's what I'm going for.
The knee,
yeah, going for the, we think it was. Working?
It's working.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're a legend. Big time.
And I like the, the one chain, small medallion, very Marvin Gaye. Turtleneck, that's super dope.
Yeah.
Brian,
Why do I get thrown in this?
Brian got 3 crests.
Why do I get thrown in this?
What is each one mean?
I don't. Toronto.
It could just be one in the center. It could be one big one. It could be like
3 crests is the Carter effect.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
So we're doing, you guys are doing this about this moment in time, about this guy. How is it to be able to, one, have the means and have the vision to creatively put together something like what we're about to see? Because, for one, I mean, me as an athlete and as a black man, to let's be honest, Toronto International Film Festival doesn't have
I'm hungry. That's all I keep thinking. I'm hungry. I just got up. All this is doing is put me in a bad fucking mood. And I'm probably developing a bad habit. If I'm not greening,
in this kind of way,
80% of my shots, or at least 70%,
We give all the
I'm developing a bad habit.
Because he is the guy who, at the end of the day,
Wow, that should be money. But it's not. And I paid attention there. Sounds like I was like, oh, fuck, zoning out or something. No. I actually paid attention to my hands.
On the court, but also being
And it's still late.
all the people that was here in Toronto at the time.
And then if I get the other animation from that exact spot, it'll be slightly early because the animation doesn't read, again, by the hands.
We have creative minds. And yes, we know what our moneymaker is. And we know what we do.
4 animations from that exact spot. 2 of them are green, 2 of them are horrible. One slightly early, one slightly late.
And we are blessed to have outlets and people that allow our minds to be able to create opportunities like this and to be able to bring it to people.
See, that'll be off.
So,
I could tell by the start of the animation it was going to be off.
It comes down to,
Was it slightly early or slightly late? I would say early, but I have no fucking idea. Because there's 2 there that are completely wildly different. You can tell just by the start of the shot that it was going to be it, too. Slightly late. Dang. But that animation, golden.
If they put on a pair of Nike Shots. Very true.
You had a pair.
I absolutely
had a white
I had one.
No, everybody didn't have a pair. I didn't have a pair until I got dressed.
Listen, if you, Vince really had you believe that the shot technology in those shoes will make you jump like that. There's not a lot of, you got MJ Air. Yeah, make you believe Air. You got Vince with shot, you got cross training with Bo. You got a little something, maybe, but we double air over here, 360 airbag, plug.
3 straps.
We ain't here. But he really had you believing. He really had you believing that. Yeah, he really had you believing.
Now, mine was
the black.
The black, silvers, or the replica.
Yeah, Raptors.
The shock was
I didn't get into the 2.
The shock was in silver.
Oh, man, in your locker when you got drafted.
Yeah, I got you. First thing I want, anything I can want, I want the right one.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? I remember it was all that, and then there was another shoe at the time. Like they were trying to sell. This was like before people really had capability of research stuff.
Don't tell the strip shoes.
You remember they used to sell the shoes that you used to be able to jump better in?
All white.
But they said, and Vince was like, I'm gonna strip these down. I'm just gonna give you literally, I'm gonna give you 2 pieces of plastic on each side. Dunk like me.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Worst part about it is the games are longer because of it. Because I'm not. That's so fucking stupid right there. It's a great shot. It makes no fucking sense.
2 guys who love to sit down to their punches and throw that firepower.
I'm not scared of nobody, and I'm definitely not scared of
Well,
someone.
3-point shots at 99 right
There's no
now.
one in the division that can beat me. There's no one in the division that's strong.
So it shouldn't be fluctuating.
It would definitely deliver a statement. The power is for real. We would get a chance to let everyone in the world see the great thing that me and my twin brother has done for the sport of boxing.
Bang, bang.
You know what I'm saying?
Give me that animation every time. That'd be great. But it won't.
We're going to both meet in the middle of the ring and we're going to let our hands go.
It wouldn't be so bad if there wasn't that one that's slightly early. You know what I mean? Because you could deal slightly late. You can make sure you're right on the release point, letting go. But if you adjust for that, you're going to be slightly early on the other one. Easily. Because it's just different. It's not timed by the fucking
All the
hands.
smoke is back, and I'm excited to announce our new partner, DraftKings.
But I can't keep changing jumpers.
Fantasy sports, and they're putting you
Oh my
right
god.
in the center of the
Slightly
action.
late, right?
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and DraftKings is giving you a shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit.
All you guys have to do is pick 8 NBA players that you think will fill up the stat sheet. Each player has an assigned value. Valid teams must not exceed the salary cap of $50,000. You can rack up fantasy points for rebounds, blocks, assists, steals, and much more.
Download the DraftKings app now and use the code SMOKE. That's code SMOKE, only at DraftKings.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for more details. Welcome back.
I can't keep doing the walk-ups because it's just not realistic to what I'm going to be doing. Bah. That animation's so great. You can see the whole arm movement. There's no weird-ass jump up.
We've had everybody on this show. Everybody. But the one person we haven't had, and we went and got him for you. Wasn't easy. Man's busy. Hey man, we want to welcome everybody, man. One of my favorite players, friends, brother, Allen Iverson, to the show, man. We appreciate your time.
Man.
Ain't been Morris. My hands ain't been Morris. That's a new season, baby. I got all my new products from Matt. There you go. I mean, from Matt. I got all my new products from Matt. Make sure y'all get some new products.
But we mentioned it, like we said, you know, you were the one. We always randomly ask who people want to see, and what I tell you is like 90% of the comments are, we want to see AI, we want to see AI, man. How does that make you feel? You know, you've been removed from sports for so long, but still, people still want to know all about you.
It's a blessing. It's God. I mean, love me. Love me. Man, just being up here, I was just so excited to come up here because of you two dudes, man. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know how we feel about each other. We talk, you know what I mean? And then for me to be able to do this for y'all, for our fans, for the people that genuinely love us, it's dope. It's legendary. It's mind-blowing. That's why I say it in the text. You know what I mean? We're going to make this legendary. We're going to talk about the stuff that people want to hear.
Now, they re-aired your doc. Re-aired on Showtime just recently. After seeing that and being removed again, what do you take from that? What do you take from it? What do you think about when you look back at stuff like that?
I don't know, man. I got, a lot of mixed emotions when it comes to it because it was so many great times, great moments, and it was the hard ones. But it was just me.
65%. It's a joke, man.
You know who he is, me being Chuck. You know,
it's horrible.
Being the guy that would fall down, get his ass back up, fall down, get back up. You know what I mean? I owe it to my family, most importantly, y'all, my homeboys. I owe it to my teammates. I owe it to my fans to fight. You know what I mean? I'm a fighter, man. You know what I mean? It's the same fight, different round. That's it.
Newport News, Virginia, two-sport star, quarterback. I mean, I played a little bit of football in high school. Jack swears he played football. A point guard and quarterback.
And then he was my teammate. Like, he was my teammate, and he act like he don't know. Like he seen some shit. I mean, when it comes to football.
Yeah.
Like he seen it. You know what I mean? And Matt was so cool with me. We go forward because he was handsome, pretty boy dude, but was hard.
Yeah. That's how you get him. That's how you get him.
The people act like they don't know. See what I was in football. So, you know what I mean? They act like they don't know. Like I was way better in football than I was in basketball.
But knowing after looking back at your career wasn't an NBA player, that was you were a better football player.
Yeah, like because it was
you were way more raw than me in football.
You were raw. It was my first love. I just remember like my old lady went to another high school, and they used to talk crazy to her about what they were going to do to me. You know what I mean? On Friday,
they wanted to.
Yeah, they gonna break my legs. They gonna do this. They gonna do that. And I was like, every time we play kick the tan, murder them people, man. Like we all talking crazy to my girl like that. You know what I mean? And it was like I always took it personal. I was born in Hampton, but brought up in Newport News. All of the guys from Newport News were homeboys that I grew up with. Then I went to Hampton because I couldn't stay out of trouble. And Mo was like, man, you coming to Hampton. Like, when I was in 8th grade, I missed 69 days of school. And Mo was like, no, you coming to Hampton. You trying to throw it all away. And I went to Hampton. So when I played against all of the Newport News schools, they got the first one. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm the guys that I grew up with, I'm going to beat y'all up. And that just let you know how great God is. Because I'm a Hall of Famer in basketball. What position you played on D? I played safety. Cornerback is the hardest.
Yeah, you got to react to everything. That's tough. Tough position.
Yeah, cornerback is just, Deion said the other day, I think Ramsey just got his. Yeah, and I think Deion said something about how a cornerback, can't get paid like a quarterback. We
Oh, good.
Quarterback.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
That's the spot.
I intentionally released right on it because that one animation is slightly late. But then I got one of the other animations, so it's just so tough. Because either I'm gonna be, you have to choose which animation. That's probably gonna be slightly late. Yeah, see what I mean? Like you have to choose which animation you're gonna fucking miss. That sucks. Fuck, that sucks. Like, what do I do? I don't even know what to do. I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I can't fix it. If I'm gonna,
Because I'm the coach.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's what happens with that?
I gotta start digging in the corner and at least make sure that those are hitting right. And they are. That's a tough thing. The corner is beautiful. It seems like every animation I'm getting in the corner is just money. So it's not like I want to put it. I don't want to put it on the fucking shelf because of that. If it's fucking silky smooth in the corner, I plan on shooting on the corner with this guy.
This is supposed to be our season 1 wrap. Yeah. And this year was going to be great. We was going to Kobe High School. We was in North America.
Bang, it's just silk.
And we had our first girl in the game this year. Our first girl in the game. So we still going to do it, though. But it's just a game to honor him and honor the high school.
And since you announced that you're going to have your own game, now we already know who the coach going to be.
You. That'll work. Yes, sir. Done deal. So back to winning 2.
Cannot do it off the dribble though. But that's okay. Like I said, it needs to be catch and shoot, honestly. You're not going to take a corner 3 off the dribble, ever.
get nice like this. Because I never
That's
saw.
why he's sitting in that chair.
Yeah, but I never saw this coming. Like I played with this dude, man, and he was always like never loud, always quiet.
Because I wasn't getting a chance to play, so I was just in the background high, just watching everything. Watching time go by. That's all I was doing. I used to have a whole that's all I did. I was
Nice though, nice with it, nice with it. Like y'all different. You know what I mean? And what make y'all so excellent, and there's no disrespect to anybody that didn't play. There's no disrespect to them. This is dudes that know that they know.
Get out of there.
You know what
Why
I mean?
is my dude in the paint?
But it's so different with y'all because
Fucking annoying, man.
y'all know all.
Oh my God, he's back in the paint again. You gotta pull him off and take another badass shot.
You know what I mean? The media, y'all know it all.
I feel like this too, for people that know the game, that haven't played it, they either coaching it or working around it. Not on TV outside. They basically working around people around the game, like Lawrence Frank never played basketball, but that's one of the smartest people in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and I think like I knew it, just like I know what Jason did. I think Eric's knows to be a head coach, but I knew it was Steve, man. Like I knew it because he has so much to offer to our sport. Because he's excellent, he's a great person. I never had the luxury of being around him a lot, but just hearing stories from other
Everybody
guys.
fuck with him.
Yes,
Everybody.
just a beautiful man. I want to see him succeed in the situation that he's in. Those two great players with all the other guys that they got around their team.
No,
It's a
God damn it.
for greatness.
That's gonna be great for Kyrie.
Yeah. Steve and Stephon Marbury gave me the most problems. Gave me the most problems. I love Stephon Marbury. Yeah, Steve was just headaches. He could do it all.
Without being bad.
Didn't have John Stockton mode. You know what I mean? Just right there, just hard. You know what I mean? Just know how to get it done. You know what I mean? Steve was excellent, man. And shout out to you, Steve, man. I want to see you be great, man. I want to see you be a legendary Greg Popovich, Larry Brown type influence. And people's lives, like, you know, they were, you know, Greg Popovich was so great and he from far away, always supportive.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah,
They like that.
just excellent. And our league somehow, some way, lead Larry Brown in some capacity. Just this.
What do you say?
This all I want to do. This all I want to do. I just want to share my experiences and my trials, my tribulations, my ups, my downs. I just want to help. You know what I mean? I just want to help with my voice and my experience. I just want to help little guys and not let them make the mistakes that we made, that we do. You know what I mean?
And it's big. Most people don't realize when you share.
God, that's so fucking... That's the problem. No matter how much I hate those 3 animations right there on the tip of the wing. No matter how much I hate how they time up. That corner shot is so fucking smooth. It's easily hand timed. I'm dreaming. I haven't found an animation besides an off the dribble corner shot that's not money. And that's huge for me, for what I want to do with this guy. Okay, I missed that one. And I don't know if that was early or late.
You know what I mean? Do I regret a whole bunch of stuff? People ask me.
So, I don't know. I was about to guess, but it's like, I don't want to guess. Wait, that's good.
That I love, and a rival that I had, that stop feeling like you get your energy or expecting things from certain people, and it will limit your disappointment. That's happened to me so many times because the only people that hurt you is the motherfuckers that you care about, that you love. You love them so much, but they don't get it like that.
What I should do is start working on
Yeah, it's like I expect.
You know what I probably haven't done is shoot from the other corner. Let me look
I
here.
know that, and it's things that I can do financially for people that they can't do. You know what I mean?
Arm on everything's
all
hot.
the other areas, you're supposed to have them covered. Like, you know what I mean? All them other
My
areas,
worst 3-point area is that fucking left corner. Not because of the corner itself, because that little notch that's giving me different things.
But I can do all the other stuff too. But you not being able to give me,
I've shot there 1,000 times too.
you're supposed to be able to contribute in other areas. Everything. Every other area. You know what I mean? I love talking to my guys and telling them things that I've been through in my life and show them, like, even with relationships. Like, I've been with my old lady 30 years now. You know what I mean? Married, divorced, all that. You know what I mean? But, you know, damn right, I love you, Twan. But dudes that's married that I rock with, and I be telling them, like, this is where I went wrong. I don't want you to go through this. I don't want you to go through this. So when I say stuff to them, like the most hurting feeling is when a dude look at you like, oh, why you think you right? Because you got an asshole. No, man, I'm right because I'm right. And I'm right because I love you. I'm telling you what I went through. I don't want you to get like this. You know what I mean? I remember going through a divorce, though. Man, I remember walking around this motherfucker 150 pounds. You know what I mean? Can't eat, can't sleep. You know what I mean? Just thinking about her. You know what I mean? Hearing her voice while I'm asleep and thinking about, was it worth this for you having the fun or whatever the hell it was when you was doing whatever you was doing.
It'll break you down, bro. It'll break you down.
I'm telling you, man, the people that you love is all you got, man. Just on Instagram and stuff like that. I don't look at my comments. Oh, I don't post stuff for likes. I post stuff for y'all to see. People that really love me. People, let me see what you're doing, Chuck. Let me see your outfit today. You know what I mean? Let me see what you're doing. And then y'all say something up there. Man, you look cool or this, that, and the third. But I can never be on a certain person's page if I don't like it.
I'm hungry, but I'd really like to get this fucker to 80 real quick. It'd be cheaper to go a different route, but like I'm gonna need the interior defense. Yeah, it's costing a lot, but like,
Worrying about what you're doing or
Weird shit. People talking shit to you, looking their
I could go there with the next game, get to 60 just in case my foot's on the line, you know, and then just be done with them and just work on the rest in Rex.
it's people that got more money than me.
More driving dunk or whatever, but
I'm always the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? Like, I can be in a room with somebody that work at McDonald's, somebody that's on the Fortune 500 list, and I'm going to treat them the same way. I'm going to treat them the same way. You know what I mean? Like, I got friends that's rich, like you, Steve. You know what I mean? And I got friends that's fucked up, but I treat them the same way.
And that's why you give so much love because people understand you're gonna hug the boss just like you hug the worker.
Yeah.
That's how you always been. And then you talk about the clothes and all that. People look at your page because you're a cultural icon. The way I dress right now is because of you. Everything. So you're a cultural icon. So people looking, you're right, people are looking at your page to follow not just your lifestyle, it's because we love you, bro, and you gave a lot of people confidence when they didn't have confidence in themselves. You let a lot of people know that they can be themselves and still be themselves. I tell you that shit all the time. And it ain't just us, bro. It ain't just basketball players. You know what I'm saying? It's rappers, it's everybody. You gave them the confidence to be themselves in anything they can do, all of it, bro. And that's why people follow you, bro. And you gotta accept that. And you know what I'm telling you about? Because you mean a lot to us. We can't lose you. We just lost Kobe. We can't lose you. We gonna give you all the flowers in the world, bro. Right now. You feel me? Right now.
Allen Iverson's breaking down and crying.
What's wrong? What's wrong with being you? Everybody else take them up, right? What's wrong with being you? You disrespecting God for giving you life. If you think that your life ain't shit and you want to be somebody else. You know what I mean? What's wrong with being you? It's cool being you. I don't give a damn if you rich. If you rich, if you don't, man, I never knew when I was gonna become rich. I ain't know. But I didn't try to force my hand on God, saying, today is fucked up. Why I'm not rich yet? Why I'm not rich yet? When I played at Georgetown, it was time for me to come out my freshman year. You know what I mean? Like I won't ready. You know what I mean? I won't ready. That man did for me. I remember, I love Philadelphia. I love fans in Philadelphia. Greatest in the world. No relationship is like my relationship with.
That felt real good. That's scary. Certain contest levels.
Cleveland, Mike in Chicago, but hands down, ain't no relationship like the relationship I had with the Philadelphia fans.
They're the toughest fans.
Slightly late 18.
Yeah, because I had to go.
That's
I went
crazy.
through it. I went through it, but Coach Thompson.
Like that animation's still. There's like 3 corner animations that are just perfect. They're just easy as fuck. But there is 1 or 2 there that I'm seeing that are just. I'm getting slightly late, and I don't feel like I'm late. And it's only going to speed up online.
With chains and shackles and all that. And Coach Thompson was like, no, y'all don't get them out of here. Y'all don't get them out of this gym right now. We not playing. And they escorted them out of there. And the game went on. That dude, like I remember just being at the free throw line when I came to Georgetown. Everybody was jailbird. And I had to deal with all that. And he was so protective of me, man. You know what I mean? Like, even the first night that I was on.
Is that slightly earlier or slightly late? Because once again, I'm right on it. That fucking area, man. It's breaking my fucking heart. It really is. Sounds stupid to say, but it really is. It's breaking my heart to fucking drain the fuck out of it for what, 2 days or whatever. And now I'm just sitting here like, right there. That felt good. I released it right when it went to the top. And it's not good. And it's killing me. It really is. Because I don't want to keep fucking I can't keep starting different jumpers. I really can't.
You think he didn't know? He knew, bro. Hell yeah, man. Come on, tell people that, bro. I came in there, he was like, well, all right, little man. Yeah. I was trying to get away from him so fast. Like, I'm cool, coach. So, why you standing so far back here? Come here. So now you telling me, he probably knew. I'm telling you, he probably knew. This little motherfucker high as hell. He knew it. You know what I mean? But he was like, and he always talked about the fact that I never complained about the people throwing me in jail like that. When people tried to, at home, I love Virginia, and I rep it to the fullest. But they tried to ruin me. They didn't want me to be what you just described and who I am to the masses. You know what I mean? They didn't want me to go to any country in the world. As soon as I get off the plane, everybody in the airport know who I am. They didn't want that. It was certain people that didn't want that. The guy that locked me up, that threw me in jail, he died, and me and my baby girl sent his family flowers. You ain't do nothing but make me stronger. That's all you did was make me strong. I needed you in my life. I needed you. You was monumental in my life. You was an intricate part of my life.
You touched on my next question.
Fuck this game, dude. I'm so sick of this bullshit.
Incident in the bowling alley, like you said,
Dude's walking up the court. Let's make him lose the ball. Nobody's near him.
And your views on just what kind of threat they saw you as.
It's just some bush league bullshit.
I knew that I was young and immature. Because of being in jail, I wasn't even scared. Like, I was like, now, you know what I mean? If I was to go to jail right now, I would be terrified because I'm older. I'm not immature like I was back then. Back then I was just, man, what up? Back then I would do it dumb ass. First of all, I was the worst rapper in the world. You know what I mean? I was doing it. I wouldn't say that. But I was doing it because my homeboys, that was what they wanted. So the opportunity presented itself and I could help them. So that's why I did it. You know what I mean? Like I learned from them. Didn't learn well, but I learned from them. You know what I mean? But back then, man, I was so nonchalant. And the only thing that I was scared of is that my dream of being who molded me to be as an athlete was going to be over. Like, the old head people in my life, I just never wanted to disappoint them. You know what I mean? I had that fear, not of Mo kicking my ass. He almost threw me through a windshield. You know what I mean? But just not being who God gave you the talent to be. You're Matt Barnes, you're Steve Jackson. You're supposed to be what God gave you the talent to end up being. You know what I mean? And that was my fear. That was my fear. Letting them down.
You know you're pathetic though when these games aren't blowouts. When you're not plus 30 at halftime, every single game you know that your jump shot's not right.
But your mom down there, and some days she don't even eat. She living down there, and that my homeboys used to tease me. They called it the dollar tax shit straight from the sewer. Because in our crib, we had the crib, and we never could be barefooted in our house because the sewer was
Slightly
in
late.
the house.
I might have to start staying there by the hash mark and just get that timing down.
Just wet, like you walking through.
Because at least I'm comfortable with it. And I know all the angles for all the shots because I've taken tens of thousands of shots there.
No water, no hot water.
Does he have the range for it? Without deep threes, I would think he still can. It's just going to be a smaller window.
And the motherfucker, and he used to, that's what was his way of getting. Oh, you want your mama to stay down there and not fucking around, that's what you do. Yeah. Keep living like this, right? I ain't gonna argue with you.
Nah, window's too small, it looks like.
You know what I mean? I ain't gonna talk that shit to you. I'm just gonna tell you. This is what you want for your mom and your sisters, right? And I can just snap out of it, Steve. You know what I mean? Go get right back on my path. But I don't know. I know I went all over the place from what you asked me. But
no, we need that. We want that. That's what we're gonna learn. We spoke on two people. Obviously, one being here, Mo, and then John Thompson. It sounds like to me, from the outside looking in, were two integral figures in your life and kind of kept you from making all these lefts and rights and kept you going straight. Talk to us a little bit about both them. Obviously, we just lost, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Rest in peace, Coach Thompson. But I know he's integral in, keeping you on the right path.
What he used to tell me about all the time is the shit that I was just talking to you about. He said I ain't never complained for what they did to me. He always talking about how he admired me for what they did for me and being that young and not complaining.
I hate this fucking jumper now.
God gave me another
Fell in
chance.
love with it for 2 days, shooting 80 to 90%.
Because I got a chance. Like, I'm recruited by everybody.
I'm tempted to just chug this fucking coffee next to me just to wake up and make sure. Because I'm guessing it's because I'm tired. But if it's not good all the time, what's the point in having it,
Got away with it, Steve. They almost got away with it. Because if my mom didn't go up there and beg me to save my life, there wouldn't be no Allen Iverson, the cultural icon that everybody knows. If he didn't give me a chance. He gave me a chance. You remember John Thompson was known as Lonzo, Patrick, Kembe, the big man coach. Allen, so another big man had another step from that man Allen from a long time. Well, it was big man. And everybody always talked about how he couldn't coach guards. But then all of a sudden, when you think of Georgetown, much as I love Pat, Much as I love Lonzo, much as I love the Kempe, man, bubble chuck. You know what I mean?
I suck.
And Mo,
Because I'm.
so intricate.
That means I spent 2 days thinking that the jump shot was good when it wasn't. That's the only thing I can think because I'm literally sitting here staring at his hands, watching the hand timing on catch and shoots. Wow. And that animation is the only one that I'm getting perfectly timed with the head. Everything else is slightly early or slightly late. And both sides of it, too. That's the crazy thing. So I can't adjust because not only will it get rid of that one that's perfect, but on top of that, if you understand what I'm saying, it's hard to explain, but I don't think I can force that animation every time. I mean, to force it, you have to set your feet and make sure your body's square to that position. But can I do it every time, you know? One step forward or one step back, one step to the left or one step to the right is different shot speeds.
Alright, well, we was playing hot ball. Mo came down hood. She rolled back, you know, just to, because he was a football coach, yeah. Rolled back, you know what I mean, to check me out, see what's up.
Maybe that's what I was doing, though. Maybe that's why I fell in love with it. I wasn't, like, holding square doing actual catch and shoots. I was, like, waiting.
when it told my mom, yo, yes. He's the one. And then, and like, we lost our first year. We lost 7-6 to Armstrong. And then we won it 5 years in a row. I ain't never played. I played intermediate every year, 5 years straight. But when Mo came and got me, he came and got me and took me to Hampton and put me in the skills position. When I was in Newport News, motherfuckers had me. I played center. Steve, I played center. I played center because they was like, I just wanted to be on the field. And they had me, you know, they was, you know, saying who the height, whatever. I'm like, I'd do anything just to, I was number 00. Steve, like, man, I played the year before that. That was Dora Miller. The year before that, I played TVP. I played wide receiver. They threw me the ball one time and beat me straight in the air. I used to cry after every goddamn game. We lost every game. Second year, I'm playing for Dora Miller. I'm the center, number 00, Steve. Sorry ass number. I couldn't stand when Melo wore that number. 5 pounds. Look, yes, listen, I'm at C3. I'm at the bus stop. It's raining. And you know, everybody trying to get on the bus. You know what I mean? To get you sit in the back, where you can cut up. So you want to get on first, so you can sit in the back. Now I'm up there, motherfucker pushing me, man. And I fell. The motherfucker bus rolled over my ankle. Just sitting on my ankle. I'm sitting there. Everybody banging on the window. Like, Miss Barry. You know what I mean? You on his ankle. She's like, what? You know what I mean? So she finally opened the door, and they like, you on his ankle. And I'm just laying there. I guess I'm probably in shock or something. But the goddamn bus is on my ankle. I'm a little ass kid. I'm supposed to roll back. I get up.
So fucking annoying being in team take. It's just wasting time.
She put her hands on my chest. Like, you gotta sit down. I sat down, and then motherfucking pain came. And I'm like, oh shit. I woke up, the whole fucking neighborhood, because I'm the neighborhood star. The star. Right. You know what I mean? And you fucked up, it's all over. Right. I woke up, I'm on the gurney, pushing me out. I'm just looking at everybody in the hood. You know what I mean? I can see everybody crying, you know, whatever. You know, put me in the joint. And I just remember my grandma telling me at the hospital, I was like, nah, I ain't gonna never be able to play no more. And she was like, don't worry about that. I was like, man, my ankle is messed up. And she was like, son, don't worry about that. Instead of your ankle, it could have been your chest and your head. Y'all, I played a month later in the championship game. A month later. You know what I mean? Like, the doctor was like, you know what I mean? Like, how your ankle, how is it not shattered? It won't even broke. It won't even broke. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, it was, what? Like, I believe in him. I'm not no dude that I be at the church all the time and whatever. Like, I pray for Tawana. I mean, I pray for my kids first. I pray for Tawana. I pray for my family. And the wildest shit is I always pray for me back. I pray for all of because I know without them, I'd be so lost. I'd be so shattered. I'd be so dismembered. I'd be so discombobulated. If I didn't have the people that I love like him, like he's my best friend. I have no problem when he tell me I'm fucking up. Like I'm the epitome of being able to take constructive criticism. Like he not gonna say nothing to me just to be fucking. He not gonna just say it. He saved me.
Alright.
Cause he loved me. The way you and Matt are to me, y'all met Alabama.
I feel like I'm at where I want to be at, to be honest, to start playing. But I'd like to get something to eat real quick and then start playing Rec with it, I think. Test it out, see how it's feeling. I mean, I need to get interior defense done, but I can get that done while playing. 'Cause it's just too fucking expensive to sit here and play it offline to get there. 22K is a good amount of work. So I'm going to go grab something to eat, and then I'm going to test them out in Rec. It's going to suck queuing up alone, but fuck it. So I'll be back here in not too long. Just grab some to eat, and then we'll play like crazy.